Hey guys, this is Chelsea from Steenfott Aquatics, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fish, the Crenicichla compressiceps, or the dwarf green pike. So stay tuned, and I'm going to tell you what I know. Okay, so today we're talking about the Crenicichla compressiceps, or the dwarf green pike. So there are over 100 species of pikes in the genus Crenicichla, but the compressiceps is one of 11 that belongs to the Willichii group, and they're actually native to the Rio Tocantins in Brazil. They inhabit fast-flowing clear water rapids, and they generally stay towards the bottom. It's a sandy substrate with lots of rock piles, and they like to stay in those rock piles. That's generally where they spawn. And temps in the wild and in aquaria are generally around 77 to 82. They do like their pH a little bit lower if possible. So from 6 to 6.5, I've kept them at around 7 and they did really well. So I don't think, going up a little bit would affect them a lot. But especially if you're trying to spawn, you definitely want to keep that pH a little lower. And another thing for them, water quality is very important. They come from an area where there's a lot of fast flow and a lot of aeration, and they need that in a tank as well. So you definitely need to make sure that there's some movement in that water and that it's clean. So they also prefer a more dimly lit tank. They're definitely a species that kind of likes to hide in the shadows. I don't want to say they're ambush predators, but they do like to wait. They kind of wait out their prey, and when things move by, they like to jump out of the shadows. So definitely try and keep a lot of cover in there for them. And they are pretty aggressive for being such a small little fish. They only get about 3 inches, but they do need to be kept with what we call target fish. So target fish are kind of similar to dither fish, I guess, but in the opposite sense. They help to spread that aggression around. The conspecific aggression is pretty intense with these guys. So if you have other small cichlids like apistos, larger danios and tetras, and other like keyhole cichlids, things like that, things that are around their size but not necessarily the same species, that's really going to help them with that aggression so you can keep them in community tanks. So they can be kind of difficult to sex. The females tend to be a little bit smaller and have rounder bellies, which is the case with a lot of pikes, but it's still best with these guys if you are trying to breed them, or if that's the goal. You want to get a group of 6 to 8 of them when they're small and let them kind of pair up over time, because it is pretty difficult to make that determination, especially at the time you get them from the pet store or wherever you get them from. Spawning can be a little easier achieved if you want to drop the pH a little bit. Like I said, keep it a little bit lower, try and keep it around 6, raise the temps up to about 82, and then do water changes. Usually the females will deposit eggs on, if you have like a clay pot or a flat surface, and they'll just kind of hang by little filaments. The male will fertilize, and usually only around 50 eggs are laid at a time with these guys, so they don't have huge batches, but it's normally about 4 days until they hatch, and the parents are they provide excellent care. The pikes will take care of their babies usually for a couple to a few months afterwards. They're free swimming around 2 weeks, and they'll stay with the mother for a good time after that. So it's pretty enjoyable to watch. Just like any cichlid, these guys have a lot of personality. They're really fun to watch. They're really active swimmers. They love to move. So you definitely want to keep them in a tank that's at least a 40 breeder. They need at least 36 inches. Best for them would be like a 75. You could keep a couple pairs in there, and I think they'd be just fine. But they're really enjoyable fish. They're not terrible as far as finding them goes. They're pretty easy to find. So you can usually get them for around $30 to $40, and they live about 4 to 6 years. So it's a worthwhile investment, and I definitely really enjoy keeping them. They're fun to watch. Typical cichlid. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching the video, and if you guys have anything to impart, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you guys want to get any fish, particularly some of these guys, go check out the Wet Spot Tropical Fish and Dan's Fish. There are discount codes for both down below in the comments, so go ahead and check that out. See you next time, and go buy fish.